In this video, we'll be hunting a box of nickels. We'll be looking for anything older than 1960, including Civil War nickels, Buffalo nickels, or anything older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, errors, or varieties, or any other interesting things we can find. This is the sister box, the last box I did on the channel. If you want to check that out, check out the last video. We did get a pretty great find in that box. Just like that box had a code from April in it, so it's over half a year old. Maybe that means some good finds, we'll have to see, but hopefully we can get a similar result to the last box because it was a pretty good box. Anyways, let's start the hunt, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Roll 2 gave us our first couple of finds for the box, both just older Jeffersons, a 1947 Denver, and a 1958 that's also Denver. Roll 4, we have our second nickel from the 40s, and it is 1940 from Philly. Roll number 8, we have a couple more finds from the 50s. This time we have 1955 from Denver, and a pretty nice 1959 that's also from Denver. Roll 10, we already have a few more older Jeffersons, so we're definitely off to a great start for the box. These are going to be older Jeffersons number 6, 7, and 8 already in 10 rolls, which is a great start. 1948 from Denver, pretty nice 1952, that's a San Francisco, and 1957 also from Denver. Roll 17, we have a couple more finds from the 50s. This time we have 1954 out of San Francisco and another 1957 Denver. Roll 22, I already pulled out nickel from the 40s. Is a transition year nickel, 1942 out of Philly, non-silver, but I'll definitely take it. But I bring you in mid-roll because I just found a 1973 Philly. As you can see in the top left, part of the coin is clipped off. This is a clip planchet error. Haven't found it in a while. This one's very, very small and minor. There's a little bit of the effect on the other side from the clip planchet and has the weak strike around where it was clipped. So this is definitely a 1973 clip planchet, but it's very circulated, pretty rough shape. Honestly, probably not worth very much more of a face value, maybe $1. Is a mint error though, an exciting find, and I'll definitely take it. Just open roll 24. We're going to have the first couple of foreigns of the box in this roll. See one near the back and also one near the front. Looks like they're both just going to be Canadian nickels. This one is a 1982 Canadian. I'll pull out the one in the back. Also going to be a Canadian nickel as expected. That one is a 1987. Same roll as those Canadians, and that roll actually had an ender. It was reverse facing, so I couldn't see the date, but it ended up being 1940 out of Philly. Next roll, and we're halfway through the box. We have another find from the 40s. This time we have 1949. It's in Denver. Just open the next roll. We have a great find in this roll. It's been a couple of boxes since I've gotten my last Buffalo nickel. I just opened this roll, and right in the middle, I see an edge of a Buffalo nickel right there. See if we have a date on it or a mint mark. Looks like it has a lot of gunk on the reverse though. And it's covering where the mint mark would be, it looks like, so we'll have to try to get that off to see if there's a mint mark or not. See if we have a date. And it's pretty slick. Don't think I'm going to be able to get a date off of it. So I'm going to nicodate it and reveal a date. And then I'll try to get this glue or gunk off of the back and see if we have a mint mark. And I'll be back once I've done that. Just finished working on that Buffalo nickel, and the good news is I was able to get a date off it with the nicodate. You can see it pretty clearly. We have a first year Buffalo nickel. It's a 1913 Buffalo nickel. We know it's a type 2 because it doesn't have the type 1 raised mound, and I did get some of the gunk off, and it looks like there's no mint mark there. If it was a 1913 with a mint mark type 2, it would be a pretty rare date, but it's just a 1913 on Philly. With the damage, I would have been pretty disappointed if it was a key date, but it's just a common 1913 Philadelphia Type 2. Still a first year Buffalo nickel, and even with the gunk and damage on it, still a really awesome find. Just opened roll 29. Looks like we're going to have the third Canadian nickel in this roll right here. This one's going to be a 1986. Roll 31. We have a couple more older Jeffersons, one from the 40s and one from the 50s. 40s is a 1941 out of Philly. The 50s is a 1952, also from Philly, with a darkened reverse. Roll 34. We have a couple more finds once again. This time we have another nickel from 1942, but this one is a 1942 Denver. Not silver, but 42D is a tougher date to get. I'll definitely take that. We also have another 1959 Denver as well. Roll 41. We have a couple more finds. This time we have another 1941 out of Philly, as well as a 1951 out of Philly. Roll 43 gave us another find from the 40s. This one is another 1940 out of Philly. Roll 44, and I can't believe I didn't notice it by the edge. Already pulled out a pretty nice 1959 Denver at the end of the roll. I uncovered Buffalo nickel number 2 for the box. It's just an excellent box. 2 Buffalo nickels, super hard to get. Looks like we are going to have a date on this one. Looks like it's going to be a 1925. Just see the last 2 digits of the date there. Definitely going to be a 1925. Let's flip it over and see if we have a mint mark. And we do. That's a San Francisco mint mark. 1925S might be a slightly better date. Not sure about it. I'll have to check it out before the wrap up, but it does have some damage on this right side, unfortunately. So a little bit damaged, but 1925S Buffalo nickel, second Buffalo nickel of the box. That's another incredible find. Nickel box has been hunted, and that was a great box. Let's go over the finds. We ended up with 16 S mints, 3 foreigns, all Canadians, all from the 80s. Pretty cool to find those. 1 miscellaneous find, that 1973 clip planchet on the top left. Pretty rough shape, probably only worth $1 at most, but pretty cool to find a mint air in circulation. It doesn't happen very often. Older Jeffersons, we definitely got a lot for 1 box. Sometimes it takes me 2 boxes to get this amount, so definitely a lot of older Jeffersons in the box. Best find out of these was definitely that 1942 Denver, non-silver. It's a tougher date to find, no semi-key dates or key dates, but if there's any date I'd like to get that's not a semi-key, that would definitely be one of them. Anyways, let's go on to the best finds of the box. We found 2 Buffalo nickels, and anytime you can get 1 Buffalo, it's a great box, and if you can get 2, it's an excellent one. We had a 1913 Buffalo nickel that we did have to nick a date, but we can see the date clearly now. It does have a lot of glue and gunk on the reverse, and I had to clear it out to see the mint mark. There is no mint mark. Would have had a mint mark, it would have been a key date, but it doesn't, so it's just a 1913 Type 2 Buffalo nickel. Still, first year Buffalo nickel. Super cool to find that in the box. And also, near the end, we found a second one. And this one, we did not have to nick a date. It's a 1925. It has a San Francisco mint mark. I did look it up. 1925S has over 6 million minted, so not a super rare date, but it is worth a few bucks more than any average Buffalo nickel, so definitely a cool to find there, and I'm pretty sure it's going to add to my album. It does have a little bit of damage on the right, but overall, pretty good shape, and we didn't have to nick a date it, which is awesome. So 2 Buffalo nickels in the box, definitely an excellent box, plus a ton of other finds. This was an excellent 1 box nickel hunt.